Want to spice up your next Reels or TikTok video? I'm Joni Simon, commercial food photographer and educator, and I gotta say it's easy to get stuck in a rut with our food videos. Filming everything from the same perspective, the same angle, the same framing, it can tend to get a little boring. So we're gonna take a tip from the tried and true handbook of Hollywood filmmakers for using creative camera techniques. Because changing up your angles and using different perspectives can help to hold your viewers' attention and tell your story more effectively. Now, I'll be using a phone camera for the demonstrations today, but absolutely all of these same techniques can apply no matter what kind of camera you're using. So let's start off where a lot of films start off, and that is with the establishing shot. This is typically a wide angle of view, frequently used at the beginning of a story or a sequence to give context to where the heck we are. So let's say, for example, we are telling a story about a chef. So having an establishing shot that is a wide angle view of a perfect stainless steel modern kitchen, that's gonna set a very different tone and a very different story in comparison to a chef on a picnic blanket and a wide angle view of Central Park. That being said, establishing shots are not generally used in food videos on TikTok. We don't have a lot of time to create a connection with our viewers, and food is generally a lot more intimate in nature. So like this wide shot of me getting ready to make a recipe, I would personally not use this shot in a final video for Reels or TikTok because it's not really adding anything to the story and it's not really helping to expedite the connection with the viewer. I'm not saying you shouldn't use establishing shots in food videos, but if you are, I would just make sure that you're doing it for a very good reason and thinking about the value that that shot has for your viewer. But now, where do we see a lot of establishing shots on social media? Travel content. So for example, if you watch any video from The World Pursuit, you'll see tons of examples of beautiful, stunning establishing shots. So then moving on, we have the full shot. And the full shot allows the viewer to see an entire subject inside the frame. So like if that's a person, from head to toe. So for example, here in the kitchen, you can see me, you can see the ingredients, you can see the countertop, the workspace, you can see how I'm moving in the scene, and the camera is placed fairly far away in order to capture a full shot, but these generally help to illustrate the movement. And like the establishing shots, it helps to give context, but because it is, again, kind of further away, it doesn't help to develop a connection with our viewer like we would want in short form video content. And so again, we don't see this angle a whole lot in food videos on TikTok and Reels, but where we do see it, for example, Costin Mayer, if you want to bust a move like they do and take over dancing TikTok, then the full shot will be your primary angle. Now moving on to more familiar territory for food video creators. That's the medium shot. And you'll see the medium shot used a ton in hosted style cooking videos. So for example, if you watch TV shows like on the Food Network, you'll see tons of medium shots. You can see here in the medium shot, you can see my torso, my head, you can see the hands, the workspace, as well as the environment. But the camera is in the middle of the kitchen island in order to capture the medium shot. So it feels like to the viewer that they're perhaps sitting just across from me, sitting across the table, participating in the food preparation. And maybe you're noticing that as the camera gets closer, so does the feeling of connection between the viewer and the subject. This is a powerful tool for us. So next up, what are we doing? We're doing the close-up. I'm ready for my close-up. This is when the view is tightly framing the subject's head and the face fills the frame. Now to me in the food video world, the close-up can also be focused on the food because many times the food is our subject. So like this salsa. The salsa fills the frame, but we still see the whole context. And you can see that the camera is positioned really close up to the food to get this shot. So these are super popular in TikTok and Reels food videos. For example, Tabitha Brown, she rocks a close-up. We feel really connected to her. Jonathan Weissman, he's definitely jumping between close-ups of his food and of his face in his fast-paced cooking videos. But now, still closer, as if we weren't close enough. Now we're going for the extreme close-up. I call these the details shot. And this is where the viewer is understandably seeing something really close up. So for example, we went from seeing the whole bowl in the close-up shot that now we're physically inside the bowl, seeing those smaller details of the salsa. Extreme close-ups are super effective in food videos because these really help to kick our salivary glands into overdrive. And you can see here that the camera is now even closer to the subject. Now, if you're in a situation where you can't or don't want to get the camera that close, you can absolutely use the camera's zoom feature just to zoom into that spot. Now, if the subject is a person instead of food, then a close-up is focused on a very particular part of the face, like maybe just the eyes or just the mouth. And these shots can feel unnaturally close, but they are super effective for creating drama or expressing intense emotion. And like I mentioned, the closer the camera gets to the subject, the tighter we get, the more intimate the video feels. And in the world of digital content and social media, the quicker we can create a connection, the better. So next up, we are moving on to the point of view perspective, also referred to as the POV shot. And this is captured from the perspective of the subject. The viewer is seeing what the subject sees. So for example, in this shot where the salsa is being poured into the bowl, the camera has been placed directly in front of me facing the bowl, and you can see my hands enter from the bottom sides of the frame, just like yours would if you were standing in my shoes. And so in food videos, this creates the illusion, the feeling for the viewer that they are participating in the food preparation, even though they're not cooking. They're getting the same sense of accomplishment that you get from completing a task. And two, this helps to empower the viewer, that they get a sense that they are able to execute this recipe on their own because they've done it before. So then next up, a super popular one for food videos. If you've created a food video, likely you've already attacked this angle. It's called the overhead, which is also referred to as the bird's eye view. And this is the default position for lots of food videos. Now, interesting to note, often because of the nature of food preparation, POV shots are also often overhead shots. So these different shots can all be combined together. Now, this particular perspective definitely hit a fever pitch and I think set the stage for food videos for many years to come, when outlets like BuzzFeed and Tasty started creating social videos on Facebook in around the 2010s. And we refer to these kinds of videos as hands in pans. They're still super popular today. So you can see here how we have the camera mounted overhead so you can see what is happening here on the countertop. But now please promise me that you will be super careful before mounting any cameras in the overhead position over food, or even super close for that matter, because you could damage your phone, so please be careful. And also, if you're ever filming overhead and you're doing something that's creating a lot of steam, a recommendation to help prevent your lens from fogging up is just to set a fan nearby that can blow into that steam and blow it away from the camera. So next up, we are gonna dig into the up angle or the up shot. And this one is used a whole lot by one of my favorite TikTok accounts, Cooking with Linja. She uses the up angle a lot. Although actually she uses a lot of different camera perspectives. If you have not checked out this account, highly recommend it. It's gonna give you some really fun, creative ways to switch up your camera angles. But you can see demonstrated in her videos, quite a few times throughout the course of a video, they are filming from a perspective where the camera is in a low position and looking up toward her. This makes both the food as well as Linja feel larger than life. And the up angle commands authority because it psychologically makes the viewer feel like the subject is larger and physically taller than them. So for Linda, the up angle expresses her big personality, her culinary authority, and makes the food that she's preparing feel epic and exciting. And you can see in this shot of me slicing jalapenos, it makes the otherwise small vegetable feel big and emphasizes the spicy, bold flavor. But how do you get the up angle more effectively with the phone? All you gotta do is flip the phone upside down so the camera's coming in from the bottom, then just flip the footage when you're editing it. And so then the opposite of the up angle, you guessed it, it's the down angle. That is when the camera is positioned in such a way that it is looking downward at the subject. But now keep in mind that the higher the angle of the camera, the more it's looking down on the subject, the more vulnerable the subject will start to appear. But effective use of the down angle can be super helpful, like in videos from Cooking with Shireen. Shireen has a really confident energy, so by filming in the slightly down angle helps to bring the viewer down to her level, making us feel like we are welcome in her kitchen and making us feel more like her friend as opposed to a student. It just psychologically helps us to feel like we can handle these ingredients. It gives us confidence that we can master these skills just like Shireen. And you can see here how the camera is capturing me from the slightly down angle, and the camera is positioned just slightly above my eye level. But so now that you are equipped with all of this filmmaker knowledge, I bet you're gonna start to notice these different perspectives and tricks being used in videos and film. So definitely start to pay attention. Keep track of them. Think about what angle are they using? How are they changing the perspectives? How is that making me feel? Pay attention to the ones that you get excited about and then you keep watching, but also pay attention to the ones where you get bored. Why did it lose your attention? Would a change of the camera angle help to keep your attention longer? So keep track of these ideas, write them down, use them in your next food video, and then come on back next week where we're gonna dive even deeper down the filmmaker rabbit hole and explore creative camera techniques that involve action. Because as fun as it is for the subject to move, it's even more fun when the camera moves. So thanks so much for stopping by the studio. Hope you have a fantastic day. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon. All right? Bye.